Greeting to everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about span of management. The slide introduces the concept of span of management with the following key points. What is span of management? It defines the term as the number of subordinates directly supervised by a manager. This highlights the managerial responsibility and the scope of control over team members' other names. Span of management is also referred to as span of control or span of supervision, emphasizing that these terms are interchangeable and denote the same concept. The design uses a clean layout with clear segmentation for the topic title, and its explanation it likely serves as an introductory slide in our presentation on organizational management concepts. This slide discusses the importance of span of management and outlines how it impacts various aspects of organizational functioning. Here's breakdown. Key points determines organizational structure. The span of management defines whether the organization will have a tall hierarchy or a flat hierarchy. Communication flows impact of whether communication is direct or indirect. Efficiency helps in balance workload among managers and ensures better decision making by structuring the organization appropriately. Employees morale and effectiveness directly influences how well employees are managed, their satisfaction level, and how effectively managers handle their teams. Design. The slide uses a professional layout with a concise bullet points format, making it clear and easy to follow. The subtle cityscape background adds a corporate theme without overwhelming the content. Certainly, let's break down the concept of wide span and narrow span of management illustrate in the slide. Span of management refers to the number of subordinates a manager can effectively supervise. Wide span of management definition. A manager oversees a large number of employees. Organizational structure results in a flat organizational structure with fewer management levels. Advantages decentralization of decision making, faster communication and quicker response times, reduced administrative costs, greater employee autonomy and responsibility. Disadvantages manager may be overwhelmed with many direct reports, reduced control and supervision over subordinates, potential for inconsistent decision making and performance standards, narrow span of management. Definition. A manager oversees a small number of employees. Organizational structure leads to a tall organization structure with many management level advantages. Closer supervision and control over subordinates. More consistent decision making and performance standards. Better communication and coordination within smaller teams. Disadvantages. Slower decision making due to multiple layer of approval, increased administrative costs, reduced employee autonomy and responsibility, potential for micromanagement. Factors influencing span of management. The optimal span of management depends on various factors. Managers' capabilities. A skilled and experienced manager can handle a wider span. Subordinate competence. Well trained and motivated subordinate require less supervision. Complexity of work. Simple tasks allow for a wider span while complex tasks necessitate a narrower span. Degree of centralization. Centralized organizations typically have narrower spans. Geographical dispersion. Dispersed team may require a narrower span for effective communication. In summary, the choice between a wide or narrow span of management is a strategic decision that impacts an organization's structure, efficiency, and employee empowerment. The ideal span depends on the specific context and objectives. Certainly, let's break down the factors influencing the span of management as presented in the slide. Span of management refers to the number of subordinates a manager can effectively supervise. Factors influencing span of management. The optimal span of management depends on various factors. Simple tasks. Manager can handle a wider span for routine and straightforward tasks. Complex tasks. More complex and specialized tasks require closer supervision, leading to a narrower span. Managerial competence, skill, and experience. Manager with strong leadership, communication, and decision making skills can manage a wider span. Less experienced manager may need a narrower span to ensure effective supervision and guidance. Employee competence skilled employees. Well trained and motivated employees require less supervision, allowing for a wider span. Unskilled employees may need closer monitoring and guidance, leading to a narrower span. Geographical spread. Proximity of team members. When team members are located close to each other, communication is easier and wider span is feasible. Dispersed team. Teams spread across different locations may require a narrower span to facilitate effective communication and coordination. Communication technology. Tools enabling supervision. Advanced communication tools can enhance supervision capabilities, potentially allowing for a wider span. Limited technology. In the absence of effective tools, manager may need a narrower span to maintain control. In summary, the optimal span of management is a strategic decision that depends on the specific context and objective of an organization. By considering these factors, manager can determine the appropriate number of subordinates they can effectively supervise to achieve desired outcomes. Remember, the ideal span of management is not a fixed number but varies based on the characteristics of the work, the manager, the employee, and the organizational context. Certainly, let's break down the relationship between span of management and organizational structure as illustrated in the slide. Span of management refers to the number of subordinates a manager can effectively supervise. Organizational structure refer to the formal organization of relationships within an organization. The slide highlights two key type of organizational structure. Tall structure, narrow span. Managers have limited number of direct reports, more hierarchical levels. These are multiple layer of management creating a vertical hierarchy. Advantages: close supervision and control over subordinates, clear lines of authority and responsibility, consistent decision making and performance standards, more opportunities for clear career advancement. Disadvantages: slower decision making due to multiple layers of approval, increased administrative costs, reduced employee autonomy and responsibility, potential for micromanagement. Flat structure, wide span. Manager have a large number of direct reports, fewer hierarchical level. These are the fewer layers of management resulting in a flatter structure. Advantages: decentralization of decision making, faster communication and quicker response times, reduced administrative costs, greater employee and autonomy and responsibility, increased employee morale and job satisfaction. disadvantages. Managers may be overwhelmed with many direct reports, reduced control and supervision over subordinates, potential for inconsistent decision making and performance standards, difficulty in coordination and communication across larger teams. In summary, the choice between a tall or flat structure depends on various factors, including the organization's size, complexity, culture, and strategic goals. There is no one size fits all answer, and the optimal structure depends on the specific context. Remember, the span of management is closely linked to the organizational structure. A narrow span typically leads to a tall structure, while a wide span often results in a flatter structure. Certainly, let's break down the key takeaways regarding the span of management as presented in the slide. Key takeaways: span of management is critical to organizational designs. The number of subordinates a manager can effectively supervise directly impact the organization's structure, effectively and decision making processes. The appropriate span of management is crucial for achieving organizational goals and maintaining control. Optimal span varies based on the tasks employed and technology. The ideal span of management depends on various factors including nature of work. Simple tasks allow for a wider span while complex tasks require a narrower span. Managerial competence: skilled and experienced managers can handle a wider span. Employee competence: well trained and motivated employees require less supervision, allowing for a wider span. Geographical spread: dispersed team may require a narrower span for effective communication. Communication technology: advanced tool can enhance supervision capabilities, potentially allowing for wider span. Balancing span ensures effective communication and control. A well balanced span of management ensure that manager can effectively communicate with their subordinates, provide necessary guidance and maintain control over our operation. If the span is too wide, manager may become overwhelmed, leading to decreased effectiveness and potential loss of control. If the span is too narrow, it can lead to excessive bureaucracy, slower decision making, and reduced employee autonomy. In summary, the slide emphasizes that importance of carefully considering the factor that influence the optimal span of management. By striking the right balance, organizations can achieve effective communication, efficient decision making, and improved overall performance. Remember, the ideal span of management is not a fixed number but varies based on the specific context and objective of the organization. Thank you.